419 with Gretchen DeBacker, Matt Killam, and Kevin Mullen.
Welcome into the 419, powered by WGTE and presented by Witro Wealth Management. I'm Kevin Mullen.
Gretchen DeBacker.
Matt Killam.
Don't adjust your sets. We are in a different location today as we gear up for the national holiday that is Mud Hens opening day. It's a Mayor Monday edition of the 419. We're going to be talking with the mayor of Hensville, the president of the Mud Hens in Toledo Walleye, Joe Napoli. And so we're going to be celebrating Mud Hens baseball. It doesn't quite feel like baseball season yet, but that's what the early going is. But this is, without a doubt, one of my favorite days of the year.
Absolutely. This is the biggest day in our region. It's pretty exciting to be here and be a part of it.
It's cool to be behind the scenes and to be in the Mud Hen studio today here when as everyone's getting ready, furiously working behind the scenes to get everything ready for tomorrow.
I've been working on the turf for months now, and I think I've got it just about right.
Good.
Yeah.
You know, I remember, so, you know, obviously I worked for the Hens for about 8 years, was the PA announcer here, got a chance to become good friends with Jake Tyler, who was the groundskeeper during that time. And my favorite question to ask Jake, and I would ask it all the time, and he was annoyed. I was like, just remind me again what your home lawn looks like.
Disaster.
Complete disaster.
Yes, right. It's all
he was like,
concrete.
yeah, there's like, it was just like,
Yeah.
But he told me that the grass is the easy part.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
It's the dirt.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
I had some tips for him.
If I've had it, I have a nickel for every time I've said that.
But
the
the buzz around town, I think, is particularly heightened this year. People are particularly excited about this opening day. The beloved Mud Hens, that is one of the iconic global brands here in our region, if not the only. It's a big deal. So being here is pretty exciting.
Yeah, this is how we know we've made it.
That's right.
Is that we've got our 419 logo on the screen here at Fifth Third Field. We got to figure out how to get it on the big screen.
And Gretchen, you have been a baseball fan your whole life, your words.
I have.
So I know that you've been excited to be here.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite baseball player of all time?
Dave Smith.
He is the best. And what did you like the most about?
Well, he caught the ball a lot.
Hang on, let me ask some other baseball questions.
Yeah.
How many innings in a game?
There are 13 innings.
That's right.
Nope.
Yep, that's exactly.
7.
That's the way Dave played
9.
it.
There's 9.
Nine innings. That's right. All
I
right.
knew it was an odd number.
Yeah.
How many
Players, don't ask me that.
How many
no,
touchdowns?
how many
They get 7 points.
that how many players in the field at one time? On defense.
9.
That is correct.
9 innings for 9 players.
That's not why it is.
Oh.
All right.
I do have a lot of Mud Hens gear.
Yes, you do.
We
look
are
great.
all-
And I do like to support the brand.
We are all
which is
fully.
really the only thing that I'm asked to do in this world.
Yeah, we're all fully geared up.
Yes.
So it's going to be a fun show. We've got Joe Napoli will join us. When we come back from the break, we will have Matt Melzak, the voice of the Mud Hens and Walleye, will give us a preview of the players here on the 419, powered by WGTE. Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.
Take WGTE with you, wherever, whenever, with the newly redesigned WGTE app. Watch our locally produced TV programming and your favorite PBS shows. Listen to FM 91 Live, stream our podcasts, and stay in touch with NPR News. Plus, get access to PBS Kids, great entertainment when you're on the go. All on demand in the palm of your hand. Download the WGTE app on the Apple App Store or Google Play today.
Welcome back into the 419, a Mayor Monday edition of the 419. We'll be talking with the mayor of Hensville, Joe Napoli, in just a little bit. But right now, we've got the play-by-play voice on TV, radio, internet, out in space for the Mud Hens and the Walleye, Matt Melzak.
Yeah, I'm just back from the Artemis II mission.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was up there, went around the moon,
Yeah.
called a couple of games from there. They play great baseball
You look
on the
terrific.
backside of the
that,
moon. Yeah.
that rocket
You know,
leg is not
it's
affecting
not,
him the slightest.
It doesn't bother me at all. No.
I feel confident that I could hit a home run on the moon.
It depends on where the level of the fence is, though.
Okay.
Guys,
You got
it's
to
not-
move them back when you're on the moon.
This
you
isn't
know?
a science show.
It's like Colorado. You got to move them back. You know?
So Matt, you are the play-by-play voice for the Mud Hens, but let's kind of go back and talk about where are you from? How did you get here?
Yeah, well, I grew up here in the Northwest Ohio area, and then really got play-by-play. Didn't really get into that until I'd already gotten out of college, and I did a little bit at the University of Toledo there. Some of the women's basketball games, a little bit of the football games for the college
They have
station.
the worst guy doing that now.
They probably said that about me when I was there too.
So what's great to remind Matt is I'm not the play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
So it's
He's
Jim
the
Heller.
color
Oh,
commentator.
that guy's great.
Yeah, that's
Jim
right.
Heller is.
I just want to make
I'm
sure.
sorry,
He's
Mr.
a
Is
real
fantastic.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you knew where the insult was.
Way better than I did any games there back in those days. But got started. I did a year of Bowling Green hockey because I had gotten to know Scott Pollock a little bit, and he was their coach. They didn't have anyone doing a game, so he asked me, "Hey, would you come down and do our games?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll give it a shot."
Yeah.
And then from there ended up getting in with the Toledo Storm the next year. Did 4 years there, and then came over here to do the Toledo Walleye, and then kind of fill in a little bit here on the baseball side. And 2012 started going in doing all the home games with Jim Weber, and then until obviously he passed, and then have taken over since then.
I mean, being a Toledo guy, being the play-by-play voice, being in the broadcast booth for the Mud Hens. I mean, it's two of the most iconic minor league baseball announcers in the history of the sport were here in Toledo with Frank Gilhooly and Jim Weber. To sit in that seat, what does that mean to you?
It meant a lot, and I remember just talking with our GM Eric Gibson after Jim Weber passed, and I did the rest of that season a couple of years ago, and I said to him, and it was only a couple of weeks after, and I said, look, I really want to be the next voice.
Yeah.
I want to take over for Jim, and Jim meant a lot to me. We developed quite a friendship over that 12 to 13 years, and it was taking over for a legend is very difficult. Extremely difficult.
Certainly.
It still is to this day. But I just wanted to. It just felt like it was right. And luckily for me, they agreed. And I get that opportunity to do as many baseball games as I can, mixing in with the hockey.
Matt, we asked this episodically if anyone of sort of your neck of the woods comes in. When you think about who you're broadcasting to, who are the people you envision?
Actually, you know what? I don't envision anyone. I just call the game. And, sure, I think there's obviously people listening. We know that.
Yeah.
And they're listening to every word that I'm saying. But I look at it as I'm trying to describe the game as best as I can.
Okay.
And whether that is, what's going on statistically in the game, what's actually happening in the game, where the count is, what the score is. I always try to remind people of that as much as I possibly can, because you get a lot of people that are in and out of the games. They walk by, whether it's the game's on TV or if it's on radio, they're just tuning in their car. They want to hear what the score is. And a lot of times, whether it's hockey, I do time and score.
Yeah,
Baseball, it's score and count, just to kind of update everything constantly. And sometimes it can be a little bit repetitive. But when you're doing those things, then people are usually pretty happy with how the game's
So how do the two of you practice this? Do you narrate your bathing or driving just to keep yourself sharp? What does getting reps in look like for people of your staff?
You know what? It's very interesting. It's just doing as many games as you can. I don't sit around practicing. The thing that I'll practice is names, because you get some tricky names.
I bet.
And so you might have to go over, and Kevin knows this from his PA days.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to go over a name about 50 times.
I believe it.
Just to try to get it down.
Yeah.
There's going to be a guy that's going to throw you off somewhere.
Sure.
And you know what? You still might be in the middle of the game, and all of a sudden you look down at it and you go,
It's a misfire.
oh, crap. Even if you wrote it out phonetically, you're like, oh, my God.
And we're saying your name right. It's Matt.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you got my name down, Matt, which is good. Luckily, I got a pretty simple name. But, yeah, it is. Some of them will trip you up.
What's your game day preparation? What do you do to get ready before a game?
Before game, well, usually I start by looking at standings and statistics, and I'll start there, and then I'll build out from that area of it. I'll look and see what players are doing, and then I start looking at rosters, and then I start looking at, okay, who have I seen before? Where have they been before? Have they been in AAA before? What's been their career path? And I look each guy up and what have they done, starting in rookie ball and up. And it's just nonstop looking at numbers, really, and
Yeah.
maybe histories on guys. Where were they drafted out of college?
Sure.
And did they pitch in college? Were they straight to high school from high school? There's so many little nuances that you got to look
What
at. all
system
the
do
time.
you use to have in front of you during the game to have easy access to that information?
Well, I usually write a lot of stuff out. I'm
Yeah.
kind of old school. I like to write
Like the
down a
notes,
lot
yeah.
of things, and but now with technology, you get very quick where you can just, if you need to, you can look a guy up pretty
Yeah.
fast. And even with our portal that we have the game day up, where you see who's at bat, who's pitching, you can click on the guy and it takes you right to his statistical career.
Gotcha.
So if you need to access something quickly, it can happen in a matter of seconds.
Certainly at the minor league baseball level, you do more with less from a staffing standpoint. So I know that you've got certainly fewer people involved in a broadcast, here in Toledo than you'd have up in Detroit. But why don't you kind of talk about who all is behind the scenes with you while you're doing a broadcast?
It's very interesting. I think we have a great set when we do the television directors. I think it starts with them right out of the gate. They do a great job of painting the picture that you see on TV, because ultimately when we're doing the game, both for TV and radio, obviously I got to be more descriptive for radio. But on TV, they do such a great job of showing all the nuances that's going on in the game, whether you can see a guy leaning off of first base, and they'll go to that if he's starting to really lean. And, it gives our analysts an opportunity to go, man, he looks like he's ready to go. And then you can throw in, well, he is 3 for 4 on stolen bases this year, or 7 for 8 or whatever. He's a guy you've got to watch out for. And then they take that and run with it. And I think that's where it starts. Obviously, we got a great crew overall. We produce a broadcast, and I see some of the other ones from around AAA. They're nowhere close to what we do here. We do as close to a major league broadcast as any team in the league, and I think we're the gold standard when it comes to AAA broadcasts.
So we've got opening day tomorrow. It'll be Toledo's first chance to see the Boys of Summer play at home. But why don't you talk to us a little bit about what the kind of early season has looked like, and then introduce us to who we're going to get a chance to meet tomorrow.
I think obviously the biggest name that everyone's going to be looking at is Max Clark. Obviously, he's one of the top prospects in all of baseball. I think the one great thing that I've seen about him so far is his patience, his ability at the plate to work walks. He works counts. He's had a little trouble with some of the veteran pitchers, because they should probably be in the major leagues if there was extra teams there. Sometimes a guy just doesn't have a fit depending on where they're at. But I mean, he can hit the baseball. He makes some great plays in the outfield. He had a diving catch last week in Syracuse. It was unbelievable. He has all the tools. You can certainly see that.
Gretchen, I'd like to ask you your thoughts on him as a prospect for the
He
majors.
sounds great.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
sounds
Back to you,
great.
Matt.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
If he was at the
sounds great.
plate with a full count,
Yeah.
what is the
That
count?
means he has 2 outs and 3 balls.
That's right.
That's not correct.
Just
Three
keep going,
walks.
Matt.
It is close.
3 balls. 3 balls.
2
It
strikes.
is,
Two
you are
strikes.
saying numbers out loud.
Numbers are correct. 3 and 2. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
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 Listen.
Yeah. It is
I mean,
a full count.
it is possible that there
Yeah.
would be 2 outs
Yeah.
with a full count.
You
Gretchen,
know
I don't know how you
what
do
I
it.
meant,
Yeah,
Matt.
that's
You
right.
what
I know
meant.
exactly where you were
Yeah.
going. But I think it's a very interesting lineup
Yes,
for the
for
Mud
sure.
Hens right now. Winsell Perez was great last year for the Tigers, a really good player, and he's here in AAA because of how good they have been. So, I mean, you got a lineup that's got a lot of good players in it, and I think that's going to be a carrying force. Plus, you got some good arms this year with veterans like Brian Sammons, but then you look at Cater Montero.
For sure.
Got some good arms,
Yeah.
and I think that's going to carry this team a little.
Real quick, just lay out, if people aren't familiar with where the Mud Hens live in the baseball world, right? Obviously, I think they know that, we're the farm team for Detroit.
Right.
But what are the teams below, and kind of what are those different levels?
So obviously you have Toledo at the AAA level, then you go down, you got Erie at AA, Erie, Pennsylvania. Then you have West Michigan, Grand Rapids
Yeah.
is the single A affiliate, the high A version. The low A version is Lakeland, where they do spring training. And then, obviously you got the rookie ball complex leagues that they do in Florida, but that's later in the summer. So those are the main 4 when you're talking about the minor leagues, and obviously Toledo's the top one. That's why we see so much up and down with
Sure.
Detroit over the course of the year.
So, Matt, obviously you are a real professional here, but I do have to ask you, it would be impossible for me to not become a bystander or a fan. How do you stay disciplined in the booth to not become just an observer?
Now, it's a very interesting point, because obviously growing up being a Hens guy,
Totally.
a Detroit guy, obviously I'm rooting for the organization to do very well. But I mean, you have to call the game as the game is, right? And sometimes you have certain points in a game where somebody does something great on the other side, and you got to acknowledge it. If it's a great play, it's a great play.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, I'm going to lean more towards the Toledo side all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to acknowledge if a guy throws a no-hitter against us.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you have to talk about how great he was.
But
and that happened.
Just remembering to talk, right? I mean, you are a fan. You're a sports nut. So I would have difficulty just not watching on occasion. You are taken up in a moment too. You're a human being.
Yeah, and sometimes you do get kind of caught up a little bit in the moment, but for some reason I've been able to take it and say, okay, I know I have to be in this point.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes I do like to let the crowd carry something. You get a good home run, I might just call it and let it be.
Let it be.
And you let the game breathe a little bit. And it's one great thing with baseball.
What do you do in some of the big moments, the exciting moments? A lot of the clips of the UConn game, the bucket that went viral of the announcers and the families and everyone reacting to that. Do you have a camera on you? Are you prepared to respond to those big exciting moments?
Nowadays, they do have a camera on you pretty much all the time. Yeah, so, I mean, if I do a reaction, someone's going to see it somewhere. And, and obviously they could use it if they wanted. But, I pretty much stay like I am. I mean, I'm an animator. I talk with my hands, if you couldn't tell, as we've gone through the interview. But I'll do that while I'm broadcasting too. But I don't go like, even when I call a big home run, it's not like I'm fist bumps in the air or, I might once in a while give, something like that. But most of the time, I let my voice take it.
I mean, to that point, there's some iconic calls in sports over the years. Is there a signature call that you have for a home run or a strikeout, or are you got to have, kind of loaded in the chamber, a walk-off home run? This is what Matt Melzak's going to say.
You know what? In that moment, that's where I will call it as a home run. And a lot of times it's just, he hits a home run or, it's gone. And then I'll let it play. I want to let the crowd, especially if it's a walk-off. We had a bunch last year. We had 10 walk-offs here at Fifth Third Field last year. And so you got a lot of opportunities to call some good walk-off moments. But a lot of times I like to let the crowd take that. I'll make my call and then it's gone. And I'll let them carry it. You get a great crowd here and they're going crazy for a walk-off win. Man, I'll let them handle it.
Have you had a fumble, like a synapse misfire? That's something that you still wake up in the middle of the night?
Yes, but I probably shouldn't talk much.
Oh, you got it. Okay, yes.
We should probably just we should.
You can't bring it up.
You got it.
I had, and when I was announcing here, I don't even remember who it was. We had some major league player that was down on rehab, and everything for me went wrong that day.
Oh, God.
I mean, like every batter, I was one player off, or I'd mispronounce a name. I mean, it was. I think if we were keeping, I would have struck it out in the first inning, right? It was bad, but it was just like some of those days. It's just like, okay, this is not going to be the day. Let's just get to the finish line, and on the field the players will have those too, right?
Yep.
But it's like, all right, let's just get this thing over with, and
there's nowhere for you guys to hide.
No. Yeah, you can't hide. If you have a bad day, you have a bad day. Sometimes you just got to chalk it up to a bad day, because I'll have them too.
What about the future of your role? What about are there students that approach you, or are you involved with have any interns or anyone that someone wants to kick you out and take your job next?
We have a lot of folks over the course of the year. I'll have a lot of whether it's high school kids or college kids that'll come in, they'll want to shadow, kind of see how we do the broadcast so they can learn. And I've done it too. I just was up at the Detroit Red Wings game a few weeks ago. I was hanging out with Ken Cowell and just watching how he did everything, the radio voice for the Red Wings, just to kind of learn and see something different. And, I think I have no problem with it. As many that do reach out to me, I'll have people all year.
I think we saw it in the Olympics, broadcasting sporting events in a different country than where it took place. Do you guys travel to every game?
We'll go in and out. I do a little bit of a hybrid there. So whether it's, I'll do some remote and some in person. And we did do the finals last year for hockey. It was up in Canada, Trois-Rivières, went there and got to speak French a little extra that I probably wanted to, but you got to start at least with bonjour, right? And then go from there. But yeah, pretty cool to see some.
We have a pretty big French following.
Yes.
So
I figured as much.
Real big.
Subtitles.
Right. Yeah, I learned bonjour in English.
Yeah, that's right.
Just to say, hey, can you speak English? Let's go.
Typical American.
It's the bottom of the ninth here of this interview. It's now time for Gretchen's Wacky Quiz. I'm going to ask you 4 rapid fire questions. Gretchen's going to ask you for your favorite thing in or about Toledo. And then you and Matt are going to work together to describe Toledo in exactly 9 words. All right?
Okay.
Here we go. Question number 1.
What's your social security number and your mother's maiden name?
You catch a foul ball.
I don't know either.
You catch a foul ball with your bare hand. Are you acting cool or are you screaming in pain immediately?
Oh, I'm acting cool.
All right.
I'm going to try to play it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had to eat only one ballpark food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
You got to start with a hot dog.
Okay. You throw out the first pitch here at Fifth Third Field. Are you going to practice all week or just wing it?
I'm a prepared person. I'll practice all week long. I'll be throwing so much my arm will be fall off.
Okay. And is it more embarrassing to swing and miss or to not swing at all at a perfect pitch?
I think it's more embarrassing to swing and miss.
All right.
What is your number 1 most favorite thing about the city of Toledo?
Hands down, I love the parks area. No, I'm not just playing that
Don't
off.
do that.
I love doing that. I go out to the skating trail all the time.
Yeah.
I love going. I take my kids to Wildwood. We're out in the parks an awful lot. So it is one of the great things that I love about Toledo.
Well, that's the show, folks. Thanks very much, Matt, for your honest
Was that
answer.
9? Was that 9 words?
Yeah, that was
Did I
9
get
words.
it in?
Matt, I forgot how smart and handsome you are.
There you go.
All right, buddy, it's you and me, 9 words. We're going to do it together. I'm going to put Metro Parks at the top of the list.
There you go.
I'll give you extra credit. We'll give you 2 for that. So that means we only have to work down to 7.
Okay.
Let's do it.
7. I'll go to the zoo.
Zoo. All right. Next.
I will go to you know what? I would say the restaurants we have here.
Restaurants for sure. Now, you talked a lot about the community, so I'm going to put community down for you.
Yes,
Your
community,
fans.
love it.
Probably
Yeah.
say Mood.
Absolutely. Let him finish with Mudhens.
sorry.
Let him finish the list, Gretchen. She's so overbearing.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on. Wait,
I
I got
was
2
worried
that I'm
for it.
saving for the
That's
end.
exactly
Got it.
right.
Okay.
Yep.
2 that I'm saving
Good,
for
good.
the
Don't
end.
listen to this vulture. Keep going.
I actually think there's a lot of, especially with having younger kids, there's a lot of great things for kids to do
I
in
agree
this
with
area.
you. That's a great
So
one,
you
Matt.
can put it down however you want to do it, whether it's Sylvania Play or other places,
Yep.
Like there's a lot of really cool places for kids to play. Huntington Center,
Huntington Center. And the last one, brother. Bring me home.
Fifth Third Field.
You got it.
Mud Hens baseball. Let's go.
Thanks,
Matt
Matt.
Melzak, the play-by-play voice of your Toledo Mud Hens. We are 24 hours away from opening day. What's the first thing you're going to do tomorrow morning?
I'm going to drop my kid off at school, and
Yeah.
then I'm going to come on down to the ballpark. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Matt,
All right,
Thanks, guys.
predictions.
Thanks for
How are
being
we? How are we finishing up the year? I know.
I think we'll be. It's very difficult to get in the playoffs, so I can't say that. But I think we're going to have a very good season. I think people are going to be excited again when we get to September and be pushing. Remember, it's first half, second half, so we got late June and then September.
You heard it here first. Matt said that we're going to win it all.
There you go.
Standing room only tomorrow for opening day.
Yep,
It's going to be
it will get you in. So head to mudhens.com, get your tickets. We'll get you in.
awesome. Matt Melzak, thank you very much. When we come back, it's a Mayor Monday edition of the 419. We'll be joined by the mayor of Hensville, Joe Napoli. We'll be right back.
To me, community means connecting to others.
I'm Donnie Miller, and welcome to The Point.
We're a community committed to education. Discover new ideas, dive into exciting subjects, and engage with the world around you.
I would send them personally a t-shirt. Crime doesn't pay in the old West End, pass it on. That's how we cleaned up the neighborhood.
Vision loss for people is not the end.
It's a story, it's the next chapter.
WGTE Public Media invites you to Get Out and Play Day.
Monday through Friday, it's the 419 powered by WGTE. With Matt Killam, Gretchen DeBacker, I'm Kevin Mullen. What can people expect on the show?
It's going to be an hour. A reminder of why this is a great place to live, work, and play.
WGTE, where you come to watch, listen, and learn.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE. It's a Mayor Monday edition, and who better to celebrate the national holiday that is Mud Hens opening day than the mayor of Hensville,
Oh, brother.
Joe Napoli.
That's how we're going to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Joe, how's it going? Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, I was listening into the previous segment. You guys had to have a little bit of fun.
Yes, sir.
A little bit, but that's what this place is all about, right,
yeah,
Joe? Is you can't come in here and not have fun.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What are you most excited for tomorrow?
Oh,
having this interview be over.
Well, we can start there. It's on the list. So the neatest thing about opening day in downtown Toledo is around 8:30, 9 a.m. The first tailgaters show up. They start cooking breakfast, and then by the time noon rolls in, you see everyone streaming into downtown, finding their favorite watering hole, and then about 2 to 3 hours before game time, it's incredible. It is mayhem. It is intoxicating.
Yeah.
I mean, to think about, I mean, when you started with the team, they were at the Lucas County Rec Center in Ned Skeldon Stadium with bleachers that sometimes weren't all put together and working, and concessions that weren't always cooking the way they were supposed to see what this has become. Was this the vision then?
So we were hopeful, right? We did our homework. We saw, we understood what a new ballpark could do for a community. Then we made the decision to really do it downtown because we wanted to see what would happen in that 3 to 4 block radius from Fifth Third Field. And here we sit, 120 businesses that opened over the first decade. So truly impactful. The first opening day at Skeldon Stadium, it was probably the early 90s, and we're hoping that someone will show up.
Yeah, sure.
And we would have maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people show up for opening day out at the Ned. When we purposely scheduled the first opening day here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because we wanted to see if we would get people to play hooky from work.
Yeah.
And they did.
It doesn't take much to do that.
It doesn't take much to do that, and it worked.
Yeah.
So we wanted to become a must-do event. Circle the calendar. What most people don't know is that of the 120 minor league teams, we are far and away the biggest and best opening day. And that's not us saying it. That's our peer group saying, oh my God, you've got to go to Toledo for opening day just to see what it could be. And
so, I mean, all my years affiliated with this team, and I did not know that this was not what every, small to mid-sized city. I mean, obviously, I love Toledo, and I know what we do here is special.
Yeah.
And I've been to, I remember when we won the Governor's Cup championship. We won it in 2004, or 5 year, 6 in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And it felt like a home game in Indianapolis because enough of us went, and there were almost more Mud Hens fans there than there were Indians fans. But
Before we get to the best opening day in 2026 here in downtown Toledo, go back to the 90s and you show up at the field out there. How did you land there? Where did you come from, Mr. Napoli?
So
on the Pinto, right? I mean, you're not a young man. That's what it says.
Or was it the Santa Maria? We don't know.
I love you most of the time.
Sure.
Most of the
time. That's more than
but
most.
that's not one of those times. So I graduate from St. John's University. I take a job with Manufacturers Hanover Trust. I'm on the fast track, Money Center Bank. 3 years fly by, and I'm like, I can't do this for 40 more years. I'm just not having fun. Yeah. So I pick up this book. It's called What Color is Your Parachute? It's about your skills, your hobbies, your interests, and it mashes it all together. And I'm like, oh, light bulb goes off. Why don't I pursue a career in sports? I'm like, oh, everybody's going to be impressed with my background at the bank. No, not so much. So it would be like, so I start calling people and saying, hey, can we chat? And people were gracious enough to do that. I end up in Canton, Ohio. I go from 11 million people to a town of 60,000. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Just that Midwestern culture. People are thoughtful and considerate. End up, Sports Illustrated does a cover story on minor league baseball. Anchor story is Toledo Mud Hens. Charming, laugh out loud, funny story. Gene Cook, Charlie Bracken, and several other people that were board members are quoted throughout. Great story. Pick up the phone, call Gene Cook. says, well, Joe, we're this little mom and pop operation and we're really not looking to hire anybody. I said, I'm 2.5 hours away. Why don't I just drive up and we go to lunch? We hit it off. A couple weeks go by. He tells me, well, we have an opening. What he didn't tell me was when I moved here
You
was...
also have to play on the team.
That's right. It's you're now a left-handed reliever.
Keep going,
That's right.
because that's all what happened.
Yeah.
So he introduces me to the staff. It's Carol Hamilton, the receptionist. It's Patricia Hamilton, the bookkeeper. And then he says, oh, and then there's me and you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow.
When he mentioned mom and
just
pop, it was literally just mom and pop.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was this wonderful, wonderful opportunity. It was really how minor league teams operated back then. Really, the staff wasn't really that small in others, but maybe they were 4 to 6 people.
Yeah.
We had.
I didn't realize that there wasn't a job open when you sought out Toledo.
It was Sports Illustrated, right? Changed my life. That story changed my life. Read
Changed
it, loved
Gretchen's
it.
as well.
Yes.
Joe, at the risk of putting you on the spot, how do you have the energy for this? Do you know what I mean? It's not just the longevity here, but there's somebody that puts you in there's something that puts you in that car. There's something that empowered you to make a change, because that's not easy. You have 58 kids or something. What keeps your engine going? How do you have this fortitude?
So I referred to that book, right? What Color is Your Parachute? It's still in print. The guy that wrote it, Roger Bowles, keeps updating it. I don't know if he's dead or alive, but the book keeps getting updated. And the takeaway from that book is, if you pursue something that you love, you never work a day in your life. And I didn't quite believe that. But then when it started to happen, I was like, wow, this could really be the case. And then, so I was in Toledo for a couple of years, ended up in Chicago with the Bulls, moved to Detroit, worked for the Tigers, but honestly, really wanted to get back here. And then when Gene Cook was sliding into retirement, they were talking about a new ballpark. They said, hey, why don't you come back, get that project off the ground? So I'm 36 years old, naive and wet behind the ears, and I'm like, sign me up. The board of directors, Mike Miller, Dave Huey, Charlie Bracken, Gene Cook, Ed Bergsmark, Shirley Timonere, these people just embraced me and said, look, we'll give you the tools you need to succeed. We don't expect you to have all the answers. Von Stockwell was a board member then too, and said, have at it. And they surrounded me with great people. And then the team we have, there's probably about 10 people on our staff today that have been with us for 20 to 30 years. Eric Gibson, Neil Newcomb are the two that you would probably all know. They were with us through that whole process. They major contributors.
From the idea of a ballpark downtown to the first game, what was that time frame?
So we had a failure, right? It was about 5 or 6 years. So the first year we floated this concept of fun for everyone, a water park to replace the ballpark and a ballpark somewhere in town. That went down in defeat, 60-40. In the aftermath, we did it backwards. We did all the homework afterwards. And what people told us? Oh, we would have voted for the ballpark. Where'd you come up with this cockamamie idea for a water park that would only be used for 60 days? And we're like, okay, thanks for that info. We should have asked that first.
Sure.
Yeah, so they probably would have voted for it. We put together the financing and funding. It was roughly a $40 million project. We had a small group of naysayers. That group showed up at every town hall, every open
Why are they always available?
And they are always
Their
available.
schedules are free
in
perpetuity.
And we got clued into that, understood it, quickly came to realize that this community leans in. Like I said, 95% of the people were like, how do we help?
Yes, sir.
And then we were away, off and away. Yeah.
There's a lot that has changed in the game, in the business from You know, when you first showed up in Maumee, Ohio to where we sit today, what's been the biggest challenges or the biggest learning curve for you?
So Mike Miller, who's the chair of our board, said way back when, he goes, "Hey, I only have one expectation. That's to be excellent at everything we do." And I was, well, thanks, Mike. Yeah. So, and then he said, "But we'll provide you all the tools and resources to achieve those goals." So when you start with that expectation for excellence, then it's simple, right? You get people that believe the same thing and are striving for excellence at every turn. And next thing you know, your luck starts to fall into place. You create your own luck.
Yes, sir.
And then people want to be part of it. You know, the three of you are all very familiar with that, right?
Not the success part, but
right, coming from the metro parts, right?
Right.
Yeah, that would be far.
Well, my dad doesn't cry me out completely. So
I love your dad.
Yeah,
your dad.
Matt is essentially the water part of the metro part.
And of this podcast.
Yes, and of my pets.
Wow, that is hurtful.
Yeah, they are wonderful people. They're part of an outreach program. I'm trying to turn their lives around.
Joe, opening day tomorrow. Yes. What does the day start like for you?
So it's got right. So it used to be I would do the circuit around downtown, circuit around the ballpark, just get a feel for everything that's going on. Eric Gibson does that now. First thing in the morning, I get up, I thank my lucky stars. I have a cup of coffee or two or three.
Check in with
check in with Matt, make sure everything's okay. But it's easy. It's a lot easier for me now. I get to wander the downtown and the facilities in the ballpark and
is kind of a good transition there. I mean, you mentioned Eric. We'll have him on the show tomorrow.
Yeah, good.
But talk to us about what the team looks like today. I know you mentioned Eric and Neil have been here, but you got I mean,
from 4 to 70. We have 70 full-time team members. Seasonal, we have about 300. And then they all lean into what we call the ultimate fanatical experience. We examine and measure everything. If it occurs, we measure it, we look at it, and we try to improve upon it. Really drives the company to success. It's funny, you know, if you place your fan first and your customers first, treat everybody like a guest, next thing you know, they become fans of your organization.
If I may, you've been extremely helpful to the Metro Parks and many other institutions for your leadership and your input and your patience and your care. So thank you on behalf of not just my agency, but others. But I would like to ask you, when you think about your guests, which is an important way to describe them, who do you think about coming through the turnstiles here? Who do you envision? Is it your family? Because you've got a great family. I know you're very close.
It's a great question. So what it comes down to is all you have to do is, so here's what most people do. They size up the audience based on people that look like them.
Yes.
As human nature.
Right.
So you see everyone that looks like you.
Yeah. So just a handsome group. That's what I see. Just like great bone structure.
I just keep teeing them up for you.
You do.
You are
yes,
great.
I do.
Yes,
I
sir.
am so sorry for everyone else that's listening.
We
and
accept your
so what we work really hard at is basically to see the diversity of the group that attends. So it'll be it could be a family with a first time, it's a child might be 6 years old, 7 years old, to the singles group. So it's the guys' night out, the girls' night out. It might be a family with adult children, college age or adults. And then we move through every generation until grandma and grandpa are coming as empty nesters or bringing the kids and the great grandkids. And we take a look at that and we say, how do we make everyone feel like they're a guest in our home?
Yes, sir.
And the team works really hard at it. It's really hard to do. We would be the first to tell you we don't always get it right. When we don't, we own it, we fix it. And it's really that simple a form.
The Mud Hens and the Walleye organizations are both committed to the community beyond getting people to the games. You do a number of programs with kids to have them love baseball and have the opportunity to participate. You do other things here at the field. Can you talk a little bit about some of those commitments?
We're really proud of our community engagement and initiatives. So a lot of sports organizations do it to build their future fan base. So that is one slice. But what most people probably don't know that is, like, if we get a request and it's for someone that's underprivileged to take ballet lessons, we're all over it. If it's, music lessons, if it's a program that allows someone who would not have perhaps the advantages that our families know, we will lean into that.
I mean, the Walleye Wishing Well funded self-defense classes for Justice for Sierra because it was a wintertime indoor activity.
Okay.
And that was I would say excitingly, the low bar is like, if it happens during hockey season, we want to be a part of it.
Yeah, we really just want to enrich people's lives. And it's, Toledo, like many communities, there's a lot of need. So we can't fund every request, but we would love to. But we have a whole process with the Toledo Community Foundation that we work with them on, and we try to prioritize things. And we work hard at it. We have people who are very compassionate about it. And we tried. And then we work really well with all of the other attractions in town. We collaborate all the time.
Absolutely.
I love doing it. So.
All right, we're talking with Joe Napoli, the president of the Mud Hens and Walleye. We're calling him the mayor of Hensville here as we prepare for opening day tomorrow. All right, Joe, buckle up. It's now time for
Gretchen's Wacky Quiz. I'm now embarrassed.
It's embarrassing.
I'm going to ask you 4 rapid fire questions. Gretchen's going to ask for your favorite thing in or about Toledo. And then you and Matt are going to work together to describe Toledo in exactly 9 words.
He's got it. He's got it.
This is going to be fun.
All right. If you could eat only one ballpark food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ballpark food, grilled hot dog.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Would you rather sit in the front row behind home plate or in the outfield?
I love to walk the park, so I love sitting behind home plate, but I also love standing in standing room only because the vantage point from all of the standing room areas, actually, again, probably the best kept secret.
Yeah.
And you've notably got, one of the most iconic seating areas in all of baseball. In the Roost.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, fireworks night.
Yeah.
Must stay or beat the traffic and leave early?
Oh gosh, must stay. So if you want to do both, people get real clever. They walk to their cars and watch the fireworks in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That is pretty clever.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, Toledo has some really smart people.
Yeah.
That's some of the big thinking that Joe's brought to Northwest Ohio. Walk to your car and watch the overhead fireworks. That genius you can't duplicate in other cities, folks.
All right.
Joe,
That wasn't my
what a
idea.
trailblazer.
So I'm going to put the rest of the staff on notice with this next question. If you could wave a wand and add any promotion to the schedule, to the team,
Yes.
what would it be?
It is the dumbest promotion that we used to do, the funny nose and glasses.
Yes.
It cost you like 10 cents for funny nose and glasses, and people would walk around the ballpark
With
like
them.
they're a fashion item.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so
bringing them tomorrow
stupid
to the
fun.
game.
Yeah.
Stupid fun.
Yeah.
All right.
What's your number one most favorite thing, or where you consider to be the best thing about the city of Toledo or the region?
Oh God. Great neighborhood. The list is going to be long. Sorry. So I'll buzz through. Great neighborhoods, great schools, all of the attractions, 13,000 acres of Metro Park.
Thank you, Joe.
The zoo is amazing. You don't have to be a lover of animals to go enjoy a day at the zoo. Imagination Station, Great Lakes Museum, the riverfront. We're a riverfront town, folks. Don't forget it. And a lake, and a lake. So I could keep going.
Okay.
I can keep going.
Mud Hens opening day tomorrow. First pitch at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Tickets are still available to get in.
We'll shoehorn you in if you need to be. That's why the numbers always exceed the capacity.
Somebody walks out of the ballpark for the first time.
Yeah.
What's the compliment that you want to hear?
Oh God, that was magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Joe Napoli,
Thank you so much.
much for joining us.
Mayor of Hensville.
Thanks.
When we come back, we'll talk about a great way to get to the ballpark with our friends from TARTA. Quinlan Tyler joins us to talk about the Muddy Shuttle. We'll be right back on the 419. Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
Destination Toledo. Whether you're a local or a visitor, Destination Toledo invites you to explore the region and be a tourist in Toledo. Find events, dining, and things to do at visittoledo.org.
WorkSpring. HR issues and employee well-being go hand in hand. WorkSpring supports employers through compliance, training, and wellness because healthy workplaces don't happen by accidents. Learn more at workspring.org.
Toledo Refining Company, a subsidiary of PDF Energy. Toledo Refining Company is a supplier of fuels that keep our region moving. Located in Oregon, Ohio, the refinery processes crude oil into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other petroleum products.
And TARDA, celebrating its 55th year of connecting Northwest Ohioans to their community. More information at tarda.com. Welcome back into the 419. We are at Fifth Third Field, getting ready for Mud Hens opening day. Just wrapped up a conversation with the mayor of Hensville, Joe Napoli, getting all things ready. Fascinated by his backstory.
Yeah.
So much that I didn't know. There's a lot of great ways to get to Fifth Third Field. Perhaps no better with our friends at TARDA. Quinlan, Tyler, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What is your role at TARDA?
I am the community affairs manager. So if you think about anything out in the community, it's me.
In general?
I mean,
Or
with some
specifically with
caveats. Specifically with
Okay.
yeah, TARDA.
Yeah, sure. Well, Quinlan, in full candor, we are all actually friends and big fans of yours. Are you nervous to play opening day? You have been warming up?
You know, I haven't played since I was probably like 15.
Okay.
So the fact that they're willing to throw me in,
Yeah.
great honor.
Yeah, absolutely.
It shows
Very
a real need they need on the team.
Yeah.
Have you ever or would you ever throw out the first pitch?
I have never thrown out the first pitch. I would be willing to throw out the first pitch.
Hard girl.
Although, don't know if it'd make it over home
I was
plate.
just going to ask, do you think it would make
But
it?
I'd try. I'd really try.
The mound is tricky. Like
It
no
is.
one's ready for
That's
throwing
exactly-
down.
He's absolutely right.
Oh yeah, you want to throw out in front of it.
Yeah,
Don't
you're right.
stand on it.
You're allowed to go in front.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, Gretchen's
You know,
tips.
I'm 5'3" at my
Yeah.
tallest. I feel like it's a lot.
5'3".
Yeah.
In the new baseball, you could be only 5 feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
So, Quinlan, TARDA is a proud supporter and partner of WGTE, certainly of this program. We appreciate that. Every Thursday, we take a look at our Toledo.com community calendar, driven by TARDA. Why is the partnership between TARDA and WGTE in this program important to you guys and important to the community?
Yeah, I think Toledo has a lot of great gyms, this show being one. And we love to support things that are very Toledo. This podcast is an exemplary example of like made in the mud, right? It's three great people
yeah.
who are great
We're not
Toledoans.
available, but we're here. Yeah.
And we always want to support that in any way that we can. And
Yeah.
being a community partner is important to TARDA.
Awesome. Now, you also partner with the Mud Hens and the Walleye with the Muddy Shuttle.
Yes.
What, if people are not familiar, what is the Muddy Shuttle?
Yes, so the Muddy Shuttle is a shuttle we provide every Friday and Saturday home game down to the Mud Hen Stadium. We will be providing one for opening day, and then after Labor Day, every Friday and Saturday, we go from Toledo, Maumee, Waterville, Oregon, and Sylvania.
Yeah.
90 minutes before the game, we'll pick you up, we'll take you there, $3, and we'll
Yeah.
bring you back an hour after the game and even after the fireworks. So you can stay and watch the fireworks and don't have to sit in your car.
Yeah.
You can watch them from
And
the
beat
stadium.
the traffic, right?
And beat the traffic.
Right.
What is, I mean, is that a lot of people using that historically? What's been the ridership on that? And like, do I reserve a ride or I just show up?
You just show up. It's a park and ride. So you park your car, you get on, you can buy your ticket ahead of time. Like I said, it's $3. So you can go to tarda.com/muddy, purchase a pass, or you can pay cash. We'll always take cash. So you park and ride. And if you only take it one way, you can show up at the ball field and hop on if you're just trying to get a ride home.
It's a great, I've used this,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, Gretchen, but everyone will be grateful. I've used this with friends. That way we're not going in separate cars. We get to hang out in the bus on the way down. This is a really nice service.
Are Muddy or Madonna ever on the shuttle?
So Muddy and Madonna do pop on once we get to the ballpark.
Okay.
We may try to convince them to ride with us this
Yes,
season.
or drive.
Should.
Or drive.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
talk about that.
I don't recommend the seatbelt might be tough.
Yeah,
seatbelt might be tough.
Yeah, are you pro seatbelt, Quinlan? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, all right, yep.
How long have you been at TARDA?
So I've been with Target for 2 years now. I joined in 2024. Feels like time is flying.
You are a godsend to the institution, which I, as you know and love. Where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from North Carolina, but I moved here from Hawaii.
Yes.
So I love Toledo.
Yeah.
It's a great place to be.
Hawaii is really losing a lot of population to come to Toledo.
Yeah. So when you say North Carolina, Hawaii, Toledo, I mean, what is it that I may have my answers, but what is it that you love about Toledo?
I love that you can build a life here. I moved here right after college. I'm a University of Hawaii grad. And I found that the community is not only welcoming, but it's great for young professionals. You want to build a family, you want to build a career, you can do it in Toledo.
Gretchen, do you know the mascot of the University of Hawaii?
It's a shark.
That's absolutely wrong.
It's a rainbow warrior.
It is a rainbow warrior, one of my favorite mascots in all of college football.
What kind of warrior? A rainbow warrior?
That's right.
A rainbow warrior.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with it.
Warrior?
It's just a warrior with a rainbow behind it. If you look at our mascot.
That's right.
So it's in the name.
Not everything has to be layered.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Sometimes it's right on the nose.
Yeah.
That's right.
Quinlan, tell us
Sometimes the muddy shuttle is just a shuttle that takes you to muddy.
That's right. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, not everything's fancy marketing. Yeah.
Tell us about some other upcoming opportunities that TARDA is going to engage in the community, or that the community can engage with TARDA.
Yeah, absolutely. We are also still running the walleye shuttle because the walleye are still dominating in the playoffs.
Yep.
So you can get down to your home games using the walleye shuttle as well. We also are going to partner with the Mud Hens this summer and the walleye when they provide their summer camps.
Yes.
At Meyer and across the city. We're helping the youth to get there because, like TARDA, the walleye and the Mud Hens are a great institution and they have a lot of good support. And we want to make sure our youth can access that.
That's great.
Is the summer blast pass still a thing?
Yes, Youth Summer Blast Pass is coming back for its 4th year in a row.
4 years, that's great.
I know.
Good for you.
Youth ages 6 to 19 get to ride all its TARDA services free from May all the way until August 31st.
Awesome. I love it. All right. It's time to put you on the spot.
All right.
Buckle up.
Oh, good transition. Right.
It's time for
Kevin with the puns.
Gretchen's
Wacky
quiz. Quinlan actually buckled up. I love it so much. All right, 4 rapid fire questions from me. Gretchen's asking for your favorite thing in or about Toledo, and then you and Matt will describe Toledo in exactly 9 words. You are at a Toledo Mud Hens game. Are you there for baseball, socializing, or snacks?
I'm going to do socializing and snacks.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only obvious answer.
Absolutely.
Of course.
All right.
All right. Would you rather catch a home run ball or be on the field for a mid-inning contest?
Oh, I'd rather catch a home run ball.
Okay.
If mascots could talk, would you want to have a full conversation with one?
Oh, absolutely. And it would be Madonna.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. First
Do
question
you want to
wanna
know if
ask her.
she's married to Muddy or not?
You know what? I have a
What's
suspicion.
their relationship
I have a
status?
suspicion they're not married because
Okay.
that's a queen who loves.
Guys, that's a
her
different show.
independence.
I just want to know what their situation is.
Me too. I'm curious.
Yeah.
You guys should bring her on and ask her.
We should.
You're batting for the Mud Hens, walking up to the plate. What is your walk-up song?
Oh God. I don't know if this would be the song, but the only song that's coming to my head is "Never Gonna Give You Up" because I feel like it's ironic.
Yeah.
It's something that nobody would choose.
You just want to Rick roll the
I want to
entire-
Rick roll
Yeah.
the entire stadium.
Okay, what is your number one most favorite thing, or what you consider to be the best thing about the city of Toledo?
It's our access to our metro parks and our art museum,
Nice.
and that you could do all of that in one day.
One day. Awesome. Okay.
All right, I'm going to give you 2 for that. So Metro Parks and the TMA, Toledo Museum of Art. Now we only have a few more, so let's roll through them. Best things about the area, in your opinion, are?
Okay, so metro parks,
Yep.
museum,
Yes.
Sook.
Got it.
It's on my list.
Community, I know that's important to you.
Riverfront.
Riverfront, yes.
Walk. Toledo Pickle.
Toledo Pickle, thank you.
Where are we right now? Oh, of course, the Mud Hens.
That's right.
And the walleye.
And the walleye. You got 1 left, kiddo. Bring me home.
Oh.
Starts with a T and ends with an A.
TMA? Oh, Tarda.
Sweet Jesus.
You know what, though?
Jesus.
We just saved you from being fired.
Such a
And I
community
appreciate you.
advocate.
That's right.
That she naturally goes to the
Thinking
Toledo
of others.
Museum of Art.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Which is one of the many places that Tarda.
I heard her say at Metro Parks only anyway. So
Let's run down one more time. Muddy Shuttle locations and times for tomorrow opening day.
Absolutely. You can catch the Muddy Shuttle at Miracle Mile in Toledo, Maumee, Waterville, Oregon, and Sylvania. And pickup is 90 minutes before the game, park and ride, and go to tarda.com/money to get your tickets and to learn more.
Very good.
Quinlan, Tyler,
Thank
you so much for everything you're doing in the community. Certainly, Tarda is an incredible community partner in so many different areas. We're so grateful to have you guys be a part of this program as well. Of course, as we take a look at our community calendar and all the different places and all the different cool things happening around the region that you can help us get to. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Predictions, who's winning the game tomorrow?
Oh, the Mud Hens.
There you go.
Gretchen, who are they playing?
Some team.
All right.
There it is.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will wrap up this Mayor Monday edition of the 419.
You laughed with us. You learned with us.
Hi, neighbor.
We made sure your childhood was special. Memories that could only be provided by PBS. For generations, we've given you programs that made a difference. Programs that entertain, inform, and inspired. And today is no different. This is WGTE Public Media in Toledo. It's where you belong.
Introducing The Local Thread, a community news series uniting voices and storytellers from across the region. In partnership with La Prensa, the Toledo Free Press, the Sojourner's Truth, Toledo Public Schools, and Rethinking Jails and Justice. The Local Thread brings you stories and conversations that connect our community. Hear it weeknights at 7 on FM 91 with early access on podcast platforms each morning. The Local Thread, only on WGTE.
Welcome back into the 419 as we wrap up a Mayor Monday edition, an exciting conversation with the Mayor of Hensville, Joe Napoli. Of course, the play-by-play announcer, Matt Melzak, and Quinlan Tyler, our friend from Tarda.
Great guests, Kevin. Good job.
Yeah, this was, I'm excited for opening day tomorrow. We might say it's the second best day in Toledo.
The second best day. The first best day may well be 419 Day coming up on April 19th. We're very excited to announce that we are having a special event at Jute Mode on 419 Day from 2 to 6, 1811 Monroe Street. Our friends and partners at WGTE, at Jute Mode, the 419, the other shows, Metro Parks. We're going to be there. The store will be open for you to shop. You can make your own shirt.
You can make your own shirt.
That will benefit WGTE. And then we're going to do a live recording of our podcast at 4:19 p.m. This event is free. Dietz food truck will be available.
Dietz will be there. Ladder 419 will be there.
Exciting.
I think I may have mentioned, I don't know if I've said this on the show yet or not, but I've sold Ladder 419. And so we'll introduce.
And now it's running smoothly.
It really is. It's about time.
That's right.
So we hope everyone will join us for a live recording of the podcast and to join us at Jute Mode on April 19th.
We've got an exciting show coming up tomorrow.
We do.
We're going to have Eric Ibsen, the general manager of the Toledo Mud Hens, will join us. We will also have Craig Katz, who oversees all of the great swag and apparel that we are wearing.
Give us free stuff?
That's really a question for Craig.
Okay.
My guess is the answer is no.
Okay.
Because his job
we'll still talk to him.
His job is to sell it. And then we'll have Troy Hammersmith. We'll talk about all of the cool game day promotions that are coming up. This is, I think Quinlan made the comment, she's coming out here for the snacks and the socialization.
Right.
The reality is 90% of the people that walk out of the ballpark have no idea what the final score was. They're coming here for everything else that's happening. We'll talk to Troy about some of the cool events that they've got scheduled and ways to come out and celebrate
That'd be great.
Everything they're doing. If you missed any part of the show, 7 a.m. on YouTube, 3 p.m. on FM 91 in Toledo, Bryan, Defiance, and Lima, 6 p.m. on WGTE Connects, online at WGTE.org/the419. Or, of course, you can download the new and improved WGTE app. Thanks to all of our guests and thanks to you. We'll see you back here tomorrow for opening day. It's the 419, powered by WGTE, presented by Witro Wealth Management.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.